and council restore with the trust in our election systems, and that's the point. Not only, I'm going to even add to that and say, not only is it going to restore, but it really is the only way we're going to restore what is the trust in the election system. Okay, any questions?
Thank you all for attending the Weston County Republican Party County Convention 2026. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and if we could stand for an invocation and pledge of allegiance, Mick will pray for us, and then Ben, would you lead us in the pledge?
Let's bow our hearts together this morning. Father, we come here to do business on behalf of our Weston County Republican Party, and we thank you that we can trust you to lead and guide and direct our steps today. Lord, we ask that those things which we really need to focus on, Lord, will be brought to our attention if they're not already. And that, Lord God, we would make good and proper decisions based upon your will. Lord, we thank you today that you love us, you love our country. We pray for America as we work with Israel in this war in Iran, that, Lord, it would end quickly, that the enemy would subjugate themselves, Lord, and we would be able to get the Iranian people back into their own freedom. So, Lord, we ask today for your guidance for our president and all those who work with him in his cabinet, Lord God, that they would make right decisions on behalf of the nation of America. In Jesus' name, amen.
Madam Chair, may we have a moment of silence for the soldiers that passed, please?
Sure. Can we do that after the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we'll have a moment of silence. Thank you for that.
Amen.
Okay, just a few housekeeping issues. The convention call was issued on January 8th, so we're using a voter list from January 8th, 2026. The notice was published in both the Newsletter Journal and the Weston County Gazette and on the Wyoming Republican Party, or the Weston County Republican Party website and Facebook pages. Now we're going to go through the secretary will go through the delegates list. The credentials committee has verified that all of the people on the delegate and alternate lists are registered Republicans in Weston County, and we'll sort out the delegates right now.
All right. Precinct 1-1, delegates. Marty Ertman. Oh. I like the microphone. Marty Ertman. Ted Ertman. Stay here.
Here.
Oh, he was here. We're here.
We're here.
Okay, I see how it's going to be. Alan Slagle. Present. Ann Slagle.
Here.
I'm here. Earl Slagle.
I'm here.
Ken Hoffman.
Here.
Mick Bone.
Here.
Alternate Joe Slagle.
Here.
That precinct's full. 1-1, Carrie Jost.
Here.
Susan Love.
Here.
Bill Lampert.
Here.
Mike Tooman.
Here.
And alternates. Elena Liggett.
Here.
Tom Streeter. Gina Knight. Gary Knight. All the delegates for 1-2 are here. 2-1, Jolene Reitnauer.
Here.
Dean Reitnauer.
Here.
Dan Fouch.
Here.
Linda Porter. Not here. So we have alternates, Dan Bow, or Ken Bow. So 2-1 is short one delegate, and the alternates aren't here, unless there's somebody else from 2-1.
Is there anybody else from 2-1?
Okay. 3-1, Loretta Moyers,
Here.
Ray Norris, Tom Barrett.
Here.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah,
Barrett? Okay.
but he's not here.
He's not here. Curtis Rankin. So 3-1 is short.
Ray's not here.
He's landing.
Yeah, I knew that. So 3-1 only has one delegate with 3 vacancies and no alternates listed. Is there anybody from 3-1?
Thanks, Greta.
Got a lot of weight on your shoulders. All right. 4-1. Nathan Todd. Chelsea Todd. And there's 2 other spaces for delegates, and there's no alternates. So there's basically 4-1 is unrepresented here today. 5-1, Teresa Gross.
Here.
Ben Roberts.
Present.
Scott Gross.
Here.
Michelle Roberts. Did I pronounce that? Did I pronounce that? Is that right? Yep. Okay. Okay. All delegates for 5-1 are here. There's no alternates. Delegate 5-2, John Butts. Sue Morales.
Present.
Okay, so there's 3 people, 3 slots, and no alternates for 5-2. 5-3, James Burrow.
Here.
Suzanne Burrow.
Here.
Clyde Burrow. No, I'm just kidding. It just seemed right on. Bill Taylor. Tanya Foote.
Here.
Okay, everybody's here from 5-3. Let me take a minute. So I have 25 delegates to vote for a voting block.
What do you have, 25?
Yeah. Thank you.
25.
Thank you.
25.
We have 25 delegates. Since we have a limited number of people who aren't delegates, I'm going to propose to the body that instead of making a floor off the floor, that when we vote, we just stand and vote. Is that, if you're a delegate, is that fair to everyone, that you just stand and vote?
Sounds good.
Could you make just ask from the front to make sure we don't have anybody that can fill any of those spots? Just to make sure we don't.
So do we have anyone here whose name is not this list? Carol, what precinct are you in? 3-1?
Yeah.
Do we have an opening in 3-1?
Yeah.
Yep. And we got 3 open.
So, if it pleases the body, can Carol sit in on, as a delegate on 3-1?
Yes.
Thank you, Dan. I kind of like this. All right. All in favor of Carol as a delegate in 3-1?
Maybe we'll go back to the station.
Is there anyone else who's here that may be able to fill another open delegate slot? You're in, Mr. Williams, you're in?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Does Prudential have that list?
We can look at the
I
list.
do.
Yeah, we got to check her.
Do we have it in person or is it on?
Which one?
Lower right.
Yeah, right.
Lower right.
Lower right.
Further right.
So 221 east one. About, yeah.
5-2. Do we have an opening in 5-2?
What is it?
Is that you? Okay. John Charles Williamson in 5-2. Do we have an opening in 5-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're 5'2".
I think you're like 5'7".
Would you like to join us as delegate for 5-2? All right, if it pleases the body, can we add John Charles Williamson as a delegate for 5-2? I love it. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there anyone else in the room who is not a delegate that has an opening in their precinct? All right, well, I think we just took care of the up and down thing because everyone here will be delegates, right?
So that changed the vote to 27.
So, right.
So does that actually make it 27?
Correct. That changes our vote, our delegate count to 27. This is wonderful. Thank you all for coming. Elena made these wonderful precinct things, so if you'd like one for your table, come on up. So ready.
That means you can vote.
We don't have any spot. Okay, so that concludes the report from the Credentials Committee. We'll have 27 voting members today.
Why don't we check and see what precinct, they're not sure which precinct. So you might hear
Dan and...
Sam, Mary. We can use that.
they are. And they thought they were. Yeah, that's very good.
Can you have it?
Oh, wait. Oh, are you talking about that? I thought you were talking about the team that you're
No. Sam.
Yeah, then they need that, so he said, we need
Okay, so we're not going to conclude the Credentials Committee.
In addition to the weekly printed version of the newsletter journal, we also promote our community and share important information on our award-winning website, newslj.com, and in our weekly email newsletter, Nuke Now. We also connect with readers through various social media platforms and invite you to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can even take a look at a recent meeting of the City Council, School Board, or County Commission on our YouTube channel. We do hope that you will go to newslj.com and subscribe today, and we look forward to making all of our great content available to you. But regardless of your level of support, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing your part to preserve a free and independent local press.
Okay, so we have 2 openings in 5-2. Would Marion and Sam like to be delegates for 5-2? Great. So we have Marion Young and Sam Young. Marion, I forgot the name you're under. She's under a hyphenated name. It's a hyphenated name. Yeah, so we have Sam right here.
So that changes it to 29.
Okay, so we're up to 29 delegates now for the Credentials Committee. All right. What's that?
You know how to work it?
You gotta put it on.
Oh, there you go.
Is that why I never can work that?
Okay, so we have 29 delegates. If it pleases the committee, I'll take a motion to approve the Credentials Committee report.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the Credentials Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor? You don't have to stand up anymore. You can just yell hi. Any opposed? I'm gonna miss that though, that was kind of fun. All right, so the Credentials Committee report is approved. We have 29 delegates present. Thank you all for coming. Now we are on to the business. Report from the Bylaws Committee. We have county party bylaw changes and state party bylaw changes. We can start with the county party ones. Mr. Bylaws Committee.
Mr. Earl.
I'll pull those up. We can have one second.
You guys might have kings, we have girls.
So this is a report from the committee, and then we'll have another, and it will take motions from the floor.
Okay, is it working? Okay, so I guess I can just work on screen too probably, but basically as the Credentials Committee, we thought, especially as we repealed gun-free zones at the moment in Wyoming, there was no need to say specifically that the Weston County Party won't go anywhere where the Second Amendment is, but that we would take out the Second Amendment so that it says the whole U.S. Constitution and Wyoming Constitution. Instead of just supporting the Second Amendment, we want to support the whole thing. So that's why we did that first piece there in Article 1, Section 2 there. Yes.
Sir, would you like to do a vote to approve the changes one at a time or as a whole at the end?
I would say that we go through and look at it all, and then if anybody wants to take something off, take it off, and we'll vote on the whole thing except for what's been pulled. That.
Then we vote on that one issue or two issues.
Yeah, whatever's left. Okay.
a 5-minute break? Just before we go into the next part?
All in favor?
While we're taking a break, on your tables you all have snacks, and these were provided by Jillian Balo, who's running for U.S. House Representative. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can return to our seats, is this working at all? Okay. Thank you all for your great discussions. Next on the agenda is the bylaws of the Wyoming Republican Party. I have a couple of things to bring forward from the floor, and then there's another group of things that were brought forward by the Erdmans. And seconded to move this language forward to the state Republican Party. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No. Division.
Okay. All in favor, please stand.
In favor of the change?
In favor of the changes.
Or moving it to this?
Sending it on.
Just sending it to the state.
6, 7. I have 7. All opposed, please stand. Motion failed. Thank you, Ted, for moving forward. All right, we are done with bylaws. Next on the agenda is a report from the Platform Committee. Sue Morales, Joel Slagle, and John Butts. Sue, would you like to report?
I am going to, yield my time to Joel Slagle.
So I'm just an alternate, so I don't have a vote here, but I'm telling you what we talked about this morning. And if I can find it on here. Oh, yeah, so on section 5 under private property rights, the end, we're wanting to strike where it says or inverse condemnation. We just want to get rid of that because it's kind of confusing as to what exactly inverse condemnation was, and what we're finding out is if something we want to be in favor of, at least not trying to protect people from the ability to use inverse condemnation. So we might need to put the or in between in front of the organization.
I would move that we strike this from the platform.
Do we have any further discussion on this?
Question.
Any questions, all? Do we have all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Like pass.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. From the platform committee. Next, we have a report from the Resolutions Committee. The biggest portion of the Resolutions Committee was the election integrity hand counting of ballots resolution. We have the hand count election integrity committee, which was appointed by this body, and they did extensive work, and I say we give them all a hand because they really did a lot of work. So thank you. I'm going to pull up their presentation and turn it over to them.
I just want to say that this presentation is a fluid presentation. It's one that we put together for the convention, but we're working on it more, and it's to be presented at the county commissioners meeting, which will be on March 24th. We're on the agenda to present this resolution. This PowerPoint presentation on hand counting and a resolution too. We have general information up here. I want you to know that we've scanned a lot of documents, years worth of minutes to find all the expenses for that month in the minutes. We've scanned by Freedom of Information. We have actual receipts from vouchers. We have scanned or gone through a lot of material, and we have all that material as backup to what you're going to see here today, is what I'm saying. So, and then the only other thing is we're asked to just hold all your questions to the end of the presentation. If you see a slide, the slides are numbered in the lower right. If you see a slide you have a question on, just mark it down and then go back to it. But in order to make it for time and to make it go, just save all your questions, and of course your applause until the end. Okay? Pastor and committee, precinct committee chair, Ben Roberts has been asked to go ahead and give our presentation. So thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Can everybody hear me okay? Or do I need to? What?
She's got batteries in.
Oh. Can't hear me? Okay. Hear me now, all right? So as Stan was saying, I've been asked to provide this presentation. Before we get started, I got to get a little preachy for just a minute, so bear with, all right? So I asked myself, what is the importance of this situation? What is the importance? Why are we here? And I come to the conclusion this is probably one of the most important things we are faced with, not just locally, but also nationwide. But it's also something I think it comes down to a critical decision we all got to make here. All right? As we look at this and we think about it, it comes down to, are we going to make the choice of allowing God's creation, man, to look at these things, to be able to discern what's going on, to be able to count, make that decision, verify things with our own two eyes? Or are we going to make the decision to allow a machine to do that? A machine that you cannot verify, created software, algorithms by people we do not know, people far away. We have no idea what their agendas are, what the condition behind it. We have no idea what is going on. Are you going to make that decision to choose hand count with man doing it and verifying and looking at it, or are you going to make the choice of a machine doing that for you? So that's a decision I think we're going to be talking about. We're going to get to in some detail. But also, this is really a legitimate concern. I think it should be all of us. This should be something we should have all been talking about. So can we go ahead to the next slide, please? So this is just a real quick rundown of what is the slides here. Okay, so what we've been doing, kind of the makeup of what's been going on with the committee. I'm going to highlight the fact that we did have the hand count demonstration back on the 31st of January. A lot of you, I think, did attend it. And also the idea that the importance of this is we're providing this right now, and it's going to be taken further to the county commissioners at a later date. Next slide. So this all comes from what was a resolution. The resolution passed in 2024 to present this to the county commissioners, that asking to abandon the machines for hand count. That was not actually ever taken to the county commissioners yet, so now we are presenting this to move forward. And here's the resolution. Now, I'm not going to read it, every step of it, every word, but I would like to highlight what is entitled. A resolution from the Weston County Republican Party to the Weston County Board of Commissioners, state to ensure accuracy, integrity, and transparency of elections for all properly registered Wyoming voters of all party affiliations. Importance, right? Accuracy, integrity, transparency, and all people, all party affiliations, not just GOP, all voters. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes a little more here. What is the condition of the electronic voting machines that we currently have? This is pretty scary. What is the condition? Well, it's not very good. They are no longer viable. Right now, at this moment, these machines are already not viable. I'll go through this verbatim so we understand it. Counties in Wyoming are running the following election voting machines based on the following non-certifiable pieces of equipment which are attached to those machines. The laptop, the printer, the sister duplicator. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds scary. All of these are not certified. Then there have been no antivirus updates available for our election voting system since June 8, 2022. Microsoft stopped supporting Windows 10 in October of 2025, and Wyoming election systems run on Windows 10. Wyoming would have to purchase a waiver at a huge expense for each of the 350 plus voting systems for the extended use of that Windows 10, as is not supported as we stated. Please go ahead.
Just so you know, sister duplicators are specialized hardware devices designed for high-speed, standalone copying and sanitizing of digital storage media, such as hard disk drives, solid-state drives, and USB flash drives. They are being used by business, education, and government entities to copy data sector by sector without requiring a computer. And I have if you have any questions about any of these other letter words or whatever, I have the definitions.
No, you're great. There are no updates available for our election voting system through the Election Systems Council to update our systems from 1.0 to 2.0. And electronic voting equipment is black box in nature. Scary. There's no way to verify the internal workings except by robust hand count reconciliations of physical pen and paper securitized ballots. So let's talk about modems for a moment, really quickly. Modems are that thing, of course, most of you know better than I do, that connect it to the internet, right? So the claim has always been that these machines are not connected to the internet. They have no internet connection, no ability for somebody to get into them or to move them or to change them. So here's some quotes related to the challenge. What is that idea, that claim? Experts find nearly 3 dozen U.S. voting systems connected to the internet. That was January 10, 2020 in an NBC News article. The 3 largest voting manufacturing companies, Electronic Systems and Software, Dominion Voting Systems, Hart Civic, have acknowledged they all put modems in some of their tabulators and scanners. The reason? So that unofficial elections results can be more quickly relayed to the public. Those modems connect to a cell phone network, which in turn are connected to the internet. Last fall, when ES&S gave NBC News an exclusive tour at its headquarters in Omaha, Nebraska, Chief Executive Officer Tom Burton defended using modems when asked about the Sprint and Verizon modems seen in the ES&S testing area. And jumping down. While the company's website states that 0 of its voting tabulators connected to the internet, ES&S told NBC News 14,000 of their DS200 tabulators with online modems are currently used around the country. And then one more. Once you add the modem, you are decertifying it. Skoglund said he's an expert on this. It is no longer federally certified. I don't know that all these jurisdictions are aware of that because ES&S is advertising otherwise. So that brings us to the risk assessment related to what are the connectivity, if you will, of these things to the internet. First of all, the contract amendment C1 limits projected machine support to post-warranty year 5. We're already on year 5. The idea we already talked about that these are on Windows 10 and no longer supported. And then, as we know, we have all these different issues related to being on the internet. Cyber crime, malware, all of this comes into play. Next slide. So, this is why we're doing it. We're taking this to the county commissioners because we believe that the county commissioners have the authority to make this decision. Jumping down to number 2. Senator Dan Larson has stated in both in Wyoming statute 2210-102 and 2211-102, the word may is used. 2210-102, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt for use in any precinct in the county a type of voting machine meeting the standards. May being the operative word. 11-102, the Board of County Commissioners of each county may adopt for use, either experimentally or permanently, in any election, in all polling places within the county, any electronic voting system authorized by law. Point being, right? If the internet was, the intent was to require a type of voting machine or tabulator to be used, they would have put shall. We've just been talking about shall and may over and over again. They would have put shall and not may. We believe by removing these machines, the Board of Commissioners can avoid many issues. One of them being reputational issues, one being issues related to liabilities for both the commissioners and the clerk. Also, the amount of work the clerk has to be doing during these times, dealing with these machines. But most of all, honestly, in my book, the expense. What is the related expense? The saving of funds. Go ahead to the next slide, please. So we have a cost per year for the ES&S, and this is the actual versus budget, and this was researched from the county budget. Obviously, the blue is the actual cost, the red is the budget numbers, as you can see through the following years. One thing I want to make sure that you recognize in that is the fact that there is expense related to these machines, even in off years, even off election years. They have to be maintained, they have to be kept up, and it's not just a little bit amount of money. You can see it's pretty expensive even in the off years. Next slide, please.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Please go back. These aren't just the expenses for ES&S machines, although that's what it says, sir. But it's for total election costs, including election judges.
Yes.
And mileage and ballots, anything that is associated with storage fees. Anything that's associated with elections, these are the costs. But yes, thank you. It's total cost.
You can see that in this next slide.
Okay.
So election year 2024 specific costs, again, research from the budget, $27,615 between the months of July 2024 into November 2024. Then you have the general cost, the regular costs to go along. And this year they did buy a trailer. Also, you see at the bottom to move these machines around. So in election year 2024, the actual costs were $52,416. Next slide. And then we have what is the net estimate of what it will be from hand count. This would be looking at it at the 2026, if the hand count was already in place. Placing that 50,000 approximate with the 30,000 approximate. The general costs already in there, also no need for dropping out of the trailer. We get to an estimate in 2026 of $26,455. So this is what that looks like on a graph. I want you to note that with that estimate, it's approximately a 50% cut of what would be the cost machine related to hand count. This includes a pretty liberal amount of money put in there for what would be the county judge expense. That's, again, just an estimate. The other thing I want you to note, and this is kind of a sidebar that people kind of forget about, is if you look at that note, money spent on count judges stays in Weston County versus money spent on these machines leaves not only the county, but also the state and goes to whatever entity out there in the nation or world it's going to. So a big difference. Reference to that hand count. We did have the demo, I'm sure again, a lot of you were there. The important part of the demonstration was, first of all, to provide more information related to what the issue is, but likewise it was to show us that how easy these methods are, how established these methods are for hand counting, and how verifiable these are. It's not something that's impossible to do. It was actually pretty easy, the concept and what was behind it. It's been tested, it's been guaranteed, it's been verified, and you can see it with your own two eyes. So that was an important demonstration. I hope a lot of you were there. Let's close this thing out. Highlights. Hand counts are inexpensive relative to the millions spent on machines and service agreements. Again, money out of the state, money going out the door. Hand counts are accurate, despite what might have been said about them. They're accurate and they're also verifiable. Again, stressing verifiable. And any of those things that we're seeing as challenges for that, we know, and through the demo, we can prove those challenges are not accurate. Hand counts are transparent and bring the community together for a shared goal. Important.
The new store. This is the one-stop shop. We have a pharmacy. We have a bootlegger's liquor. The deli, the food that you can get at a lunchtime is so amazing. The coffee shop. Certain Friday mornings, there's 30 people sitting here in all these chairs. This is the hub for people to come and visit, have their coffee, have their donuts. It's amazing what this area has done. Totally amazing.
Hand counts will restore the trust in our election systems, and that's the point. Not only, I'm going to even add to that and say, not only is it going to restore, but it really is the only way we're going to restore what is the trust in the election system. Okay. Any questions?
On number one, the title, what are you talking about when you say "and state"?
Could you go to what slide one? Yeah, we can start with this. Slide one.
Slide one. In the title,
One more. Go back.
You're next.
There you go. This one?
No.
it's the next one.
You're next on the resolution. It says.
So it says ensure integrity and transparency. Well, first, Weston County Board of Commissioners and state. What's the state?
I guess I'm going to answer that on my own and say that we want this to go to the state Republican state level. Yes.
Oh, so that needs to be put in the chain.
Yeah. Just want to be further on the line.
Yeah. Wow, this needs to be added in that state Republican Party, and not the state.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Oh.
I have a comment on the hand count demonstration that we did. And we had a lot of fun and we learned the basic overall. A lot of people were there, but many weren't. And the method that we did was called the golden standard. And in research, there's another method of counting
ballots. That is a lot more efficient than what we did there. Because we only touch the ballot one time, we scan it in, count the whole ballot, scan it out, and open it up. And so we're in the process of learning that new method. And then there's about 8 or 9 other methods too. So I just didn't want anybody to get scared off because there was a lot of motion that way, but it's all very doable.
And I'd just like to say something. Wyoming, when they adopted the machines back in 2020, they entered into a 1-year contract. The state, Secretary of State and the Deputy Attorney General signed a 1-year contract that could be renewed in 1-year increments up to 5 years. Okay. The state paid for all the expenses for the machines the first year, and then after that, it was up to the counties to negotiate their individual contracts with ES&S, which we did. And that's where you see the expenses jump from the first year to the second year, because in the second year of the contracts came renewal licenses, maintenance fees, extended warranties, and then this $6,500 a year for machine maintenance. That's why the cost. But we are at the end of that contract. It's been renewed, the initial date and 4 times. These machines are no longer updatable even by ES&S standards. The software, as far as we can tell, has never been updated since it was initially installed in the machines in 2020. They are outdated. So either the county has to adopt and buy new machines if they want to have these machines, or the state has to buy all new machines for the whole state. And we saw an approximate number of $60 million. So, and you're investing, and if you buy new machines, the chips in all these machines are made where? Thank you. China. Okay? You saw what the that slide where it had all the inputs or excerpts from that news article. There was one that wasn't read, but the head of Tim Burt, the head of ES&S, was asked, "Are you giving up, for speed and accuracy? Are you giving up for speed accuracy and security?" And he said, and it's not up there, but he said something to the fact that, that's not my job to make that decision, or judge, is what he said. He could pull it up and something. These machines current machines are no longer viable. And we're faced now with going to a system that, James Burrow is going to quickly, we're doing an ongoing survey of people in Weston County and asking them if they trust the machines or would they rather go to Hammond County. And James will give a quick update on how that survey is going. But I could say, why don't you do that? Because what we're finding, and this is an ongoing survey, James will tell you what we're finding.
I just wanted to get Sarah.
I'll be quick.
There's actually,
Go ahead.
the survey actually consists of 67 people, not 55.
Yeah, these numbers here just represent the ones that I talked to. We talked to different people. When we had our Penn County training, and there were 12 people that agreed that they wanted to see Penn County go back to Penn County. When I did my survey, I stood outside the door at Woody's grocery store. So I asked each person that walked up. No one refused to talk to me about it. I asked them their feelings on our county, the way that we vote, and whether they prefer the machines or hand county. And out of the 55 that I talked to, 42 of the ones Right down there at 44. But the ones I talked to, and I talked to a couple later, but they all were very specific on, and outright, when I asked them the question, they didn't want to debate it. They said, we absolutely should go back to hand counting. They, for some of them, it was because they did not trust the machine. They stated that. Some of them, when asked them the question, they just looked at it and said, hand counting. No discussion. But there were 5 of them that weren't sure. And some of that discussion was the amount of time it would take to do hand counting. They weren't against hand counting. They just thought it would be faster results. And there were 4 of them that were for the machine that I asked, and a couple of them was basically for the speed up, not for the accuracy. All they stated was a speed up. And there was one that didn't carry the weight. It was not going to be fair anyway, so it didn't matter. There was 3 people that I asked that were not registered voters. I encouraged them, to get registered and vote. But out of all the people that I talked to that day, there were only like 2 or 3 people that I actually know as friends or acquainted with or anything. These were all strangers to me that I've never talked to. So all we were looking at is to get a feel of the general public in our county to how they felt about the way we vote. And it was pretty unanimous that they think that we should go back to hand counting. I will do a lot more surveying and talking to people in my precinct, and I encourage everyone else here to ask people in their precincts and people that they meet how they feel about our voting. And that I think we owe it to this, the people of the county and our precincts that we represent, to know when we present it to the county commissioners how the people actually feel about it. And from what I can see so far, they definitely feel that we should do hand counting. Thank you.
Thank you, James. So at this point, I actually would just like to acknowledge the Election Integrity Committee as well as the Weston County Republican women who joined in this initiative as well. So if you could all stand up if you participated in this, and if we could all thank you with a round of applause. Which one of you would like to have the honor of moving forward this resolution? Susan? What did you say? I said, would you like the honor of moving forward this resolution?
So, before we do that, taking Mr. Bowen's comment there, I think we should change and take and stay out there. I think we should concentrate on working with our county commissioners and our county clerk to micro what we need in our county. And the state kind of already blew us off this year, so let them go their way and, well, I can't, we'll go to it. I think we should just concentrate on helping our county commissioners and our county clerks learn how to make this hand counting more county. So I would, right off the bat, take and state out of the title. Sure.
The benefit of taking it to the state, not the legislature, but to the Republican Party convention, it just gives it more exposure. And this is such a good hurt the state being more, getting more exposure to at the Republican convention.
So we just have to clean up the variety of the, sorry.
Yeah, they do, I think.
So the way the process works is if it's passed here in Weston County, then it moves up to the state level and it will be debated in resolutions committee and presented to the body of the whole of the Wyoming Republican Party. And at that point, they change the Weston County things to Wyoming Republican Party and it becomes part of the resolutions of the party and then goes to all other.
So we just make a motion to adopt this resolution. Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to, take our findings to the county commissioner, this resolution and our findings to the county commissioners, and, implore them, is that a good word? To direct the clerk to, handle our election as a hand count, not a.
Motion made and properly seconded to move forward this resolution entitled "A Resolution from the Weston County Republican Party to the Weston County Board of Commissioners to ensure accuracy, integrity, and transparency of elections for all properly registered Wyoming voters of all party affiliations." Any discussion?
Madam Chair, is that what you said in your motion? Because you said something about the commissioners will direct the county clerk to use hand counting instead of machines, is that, or are you okay with the time?
Okay, my motion was to adopt this resolution and to present information to the county commissioners and ask them to direct the clerk to administer a hand count election, not a machine count.
Any discussion?
So the words "and state" are now being removed.
You want to?
No, we're leaving it in.
You
I
want-
So we want to add State Republican Party, so we know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna agree. Not that bad.
Any discussion? Yes.
State Republican Party.
Yep.
So you and state Republican Party. I'll fix it. I promise. I'll fix it. Motion made and seconded. Marty?
I would ask that the last part be stricken because that's an opinion and I'd rather have the facts stated of having a note that we present to the Board of County Commissioners. If those other two things won't happen if it's passed.
Where is it?
No part of the motion.
Oh,
Just in my comments.
What, was there, who seconded your motion?
Teresa Gross.
And I thirded it.
All right. All in favor of the
So we're
motion?
amending the motion.
No.
Wow.
So we have to strike the language that Susan brought out if we're going to go with
And so I just want to let people know that there's money involved for all of us. And what we really owe you, the people, whether we're elected officials, whether we own a media company that accepts them. Let's face it, I mean, advertising dollars, when it used to be advertising dollars that drove local media, those people, I mean, I've had a lot of advertisers pull their money from the Newsletter Journal because, and I knew they were gonna, because editorials I wrote. I mean, God, when I went after the Fair Board, I lost advertising right and left over that. I lost advertising over the hospital board thing a few years ago. Every time we write an editorial challenging something in Weston County, we stand the chance to lose dollars. And so now taking in donations really doesn't make it any difference.
If it's passed, it's going to happen anyway.
Can I just
Please.
So I make a motion that we adopt this resolution and take our
Point of
presentation.
order, you've already got a second, you gotta withdraw it first.
Withdraw your first motion.
With the agreement of the second, you gotta withdraw the first motion.
I withdraw my first motion.
Second.
Third.
All right,
Okay.
one more time.
Okay, I make a motion that we adopt this resolution as stated right there or on our papers, adding, state Republican Party to the title. And to take our presentation with this resolution to the county commissioners.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to pass this resolution and bring forward the concerns to the county commissioners. Do I miss
And
anything?
take our presentation.
And take our presentation to the county commissioners. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Next resolution is investigation into the use of the auto pen. Ken, would you like to present, read your motion? We do not have this one on the screen, so we'll have to.
I'll just read it, with a caveat that Alan came up with a better wording, and I guess we lost that version. So this is sort of a recreation of it. And I'd like to make a kind of an introductory comment. Some of you are probably aware that during the last couple of years of the Biden administration, a lot of executive office documentation was signed by AutoPen, and there were different instances, one of which I observed, where the president, the sitting president of our nation at that time, was asked, "Why did you sign that?" And he said, "I didn't sign that." Now, some people attributed his response to failing memory or other factors, but we have to consider the possibility that he was telling the truth, and he really didn't approve of that documentation. And of course, as you know, at the very end of his administration, there were literally thousands of pardons just signed by him. Was he even aware of that? We're not sure. So here's a tentative wording. Whereas the application of the president's signature to represent his approval, when he has testified that he was unaware of said documentation, indicates criminal forgery, and whereas unidentified parties fraudulently apply the president's signature using the auto pen to executive office documents without the president's authorization, and whereas this deceptive use of the auto pen represents a fraud committed against the citizens of the United States of America, now therefore be it resolved, the Wyoming Republican Party State Committee, now this part, I don't know if I have that correct or not, if it should be in there, adopts this resolution that the United States Congress shall investigate this criminal fraud, take action to prevent recurrence, and prosecute the individuals responsible for these criminal acts. Now, I fully acknowledge that may not happen. We have a lot of priorities right now in Washington, D.C., but nevertheless, this is something that if it's allowed to go on in some future administration, it's not good for our nation. It really violates the entire concept of executive office responsibility. And think about yourselves. Would you want somebody signing your name with something you didn't agree to? Hey, thank you very much for giving me that opportunity to speak. Give the microphone back to Gary, I guess.
Thank you, Vic. Mr. Hoffman, did you make a motion to move the resolution forward?
I would like to make a motion to move the resolution forward if other people aren't against it. Second.
Motion made and seconded to move the resolution forward. Thank you very much. Any discussion?
I think the wording,
Ken? Oh, gosh.
sorry.
Just want to make a comment. Right now, there are currently 2 investigations going on, one by the House and one by the Department of Justice on this very issue. So I consider this to be irrelevant at the moment.
Well, that's fantastic. I was just heard that.
But it's true. It's true.
Mick?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we put the wording that it's from the Weston County Republican Party, and the state will change it when it gets to the state.
Perhaps we can make the wherefore be it resolved something along the lines of the Weston County Republican Party fully supports the investigations into the use of the auto pen.
I'm opposed to this resolution. It's very real what Ken is talking about, the auto pen and its misuse, but there are 2 investigatory committees investigating the use of the auto pen already at the national level. So I think it's already being taken care of. It's important, and it was abused, but auto pens have been used for a long time. All you gotta have is Wacky Joe said, yeah, I did that, I authorized that. And any auto pen signatures during his tenure will be approved. Because how are you gonna tell? So anyway, we're all upset about it, and it was abused, but it's being, I believe it's like other people as well, it's being taken care of at the national level.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Any further discussion?
It's another thing, that's one of the things that the state, they want resolutions that are current and active and what's happening right now. And this is what's happening right now, so I don't think it hurts at all to have it go to the state.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor of moving this resolution? Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ken. Next,
As written. Okay.
Next resolution, designating Muslim Brotherhood and Council on American Islamic Relations as foreign terrorist organizations. Yeah?
I propose this resolution. President Trump has already declared the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as terrorist organizations. I know other states around the country are doing the same. And so I would just like Wyoming to go on the record as doing the same. And what I'm talking about is Islamic jihadists, right? Okay? That have been coming into this country, and particularly the past 4 years while the border was wide open. The people in this that are part of the Islamic religion have been grown and taught from childhood to hate this country and everything this country stands for. They're not here to assimilate into this country. They're here to assassinate our traditions and our values and our Constitution. They're here actually to take over the country. And basically, they got us surrounded right now. If you take Maine, New York State, Illinois, Michigan, Washington, Oregon, California, and Texas, believe it or not, is the second leader in the mosque being formed every year. They are adopting 2 mosques every month for the last 2 years, putting them up to 350 mosques in Texas. Second only to California that has 400 mosques. in Texas, they do have Sharia courts. They are not bound legally, but in the neighborhood that they are being used in, they are being used to try and so they have Sharia neighborhoods. They're trying to like Epic City is supposed to be a Muslim city, Islamic city, totally on their own from the rest of Texas. And so what they're doing is our sovereignty, and they're here again. How many times we've got to hear Allah Akbar before we realize what's going on in our country? And how many more of us have they got to kill before we realize that they're here to destroy our country? So that's why I'm asking to adopt this resolution for the state of Wyoming to make it official here too. And CARE is a terrorist organization fed previously by USAID funding. They also were part of the ones that were helping influence and conduct the mass invasion in their border the last 4 years. Never mind around the world. They're sponsors of terrorism. So that's why I'm asking for this resolution.
So do we have a second to move this resolution forward?
Who was that?
Any further discussion? Yes.
So, on the one hand, our nation really stands behind the idea of freedom of religion. But on the other hand, if I proposed a new religion that said I'm allowed to shoot my neighbors at will or something, you can see there would be a problem. Now, if we really understand what our Islamic believers understand, we will find that their belief system is absolutely incompatible with our United States Constitution. And so I just want to warn people that I had an Islamic neighbor when I lived in Redondo Beach, and I can assure you their belief system is absolutely diametrically opposed to our United States Constitution. So I want everybody to be absolutely clear on that point. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Sorry.
Freedom of, just to add to that point, freedom of religion is a little bit different than, it's a theocracy. It's not a religion, it's a theocracy. So that's something to keep in mind.
I just want to be clear that I'm not talking necessarily Muslims, I'm talking about Islamic extremist jihadists. Okay, there's a difference. One's a theology, right? And that's what we're opposed to. The theology is, as taught by their little kids, is their main job is to destroy this country.
Any further discussion? All in favor of passing this resolution? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next resolution is to require AI data centers to adhere to oil and gas industry water protocols.
Thank you. Once again, I propose this resolution. These data centers that are being built and will be built all around the country. For example, the proposed Project J in the southern part of our state, near Cheyenne, is a proposed 4,000 acre. They call them data centers, but they're compounds. They have their own water treatment centers and they have their own electrical plants, or will, because our electrical grid cannot sustain these data centers. That's why, actually, if you didn't catch it, last week the Nuclear Regulatory Commission approved Bill Gates' nuclear reactor last week. So it will be built up by Gillette, I think. Anyway, these data centers use huge amounts of electricity, and President Trump just signed an executive order last week that says these data centers shall pay for their own electricity and will not go on the taxpayers. So this resolution deals with the water. What they use huge amounts of 5 million gallons a day for that proposed Project J of water, which they were proposing they were going to drill through our aquifer into water below our aquifer. So this resolution deals with the water. What they use huge amounts of 5 million gallons a day for that proposed Project J of water, which they were proposing they were going to drill through our aquifer into water below our aquifer. So this resolution is stating that they should use the same laws and state statutes, whereas new cooling technologies now enable water to be recycled, therefore reducing demand for fresh water and minimizing stress on Wyoming aquifers. So we're asking them to use the same standards as the oil and gas industry has established, proven water management protocols, including the use of interconnected reserve pits designed for recycling and heat management. And then the rest. So I'll say this is not even optimal, because what they have to do in these enclosed pipelines is add descalers and anti-contaminants. So eventually this water turns into almost a sludge, and it'll have to be disposed. It cannot be treated. It's going to have to be either pumped back into the groundwater or somehow taken out and be disposed as hazmat material. So, but it's better than drilling into our aquifer at this point. So that's why we're asking for it. These data centers are a huge thing, like I said. They're not just, the data that they're collecting is you and I. Anything you put on the internet, anytime you go on your cell phone, you got a Fitbit watch or one of those rings that take your blood pressure and your latitude and longitude and how many steps you take, and if you're on the third floor, that's all going into these data centers. These are giant surveillance centers under the guise of data centers. They're supercomputers, and what they're basically all being used for is the race to AI, the race to singularity, which is basically the combination of man and machine. And actually, in my opinion, the degradation of our society like we've never seen before. Yes, out of AI, maybe someday blind people will see. Maybe paraplegics will walk. And we'll have great military weapons. But other than that, I can see it as a total destruction of our society. Thank you.
So we have a motion to move forward the resolution to require
I make that
data
motion.
centers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alan, second. Any further discussion? Yes, Ken.
Being part of, in my past, in the oil and gas industry, this kind of gives the oil and gas industry a bad name. It's a refining industry that recycles water for cooling and things like that. The oil and gas industry does not. They produce oil and gas, and if liquids come with it, it's water, they put it in a pit that needs to be 90% of the time anymore. It used to be you could get a permit to release that water if it was clean back into the environment, to stop ponds and so forth. That's not done hardly much anymore. But anyhow, they put it in reserve pits so it evaporates and they get rid of the water. I'm nitpicking. It's more the refining industry. It's not the oil and gas that produce or has all the pits out there. The only time you use a reserve pit, generally in the oil and gas industry, was when you're drilling a well. And that technology has gone by the wayside years ago with new technology that takes very little water, like it used to drill a well.
Do you have an amendment, Mr. Erdman?
Well, I don't know whether amendments, I feel badly with everybody hearing the oil and gas industry produces and does this and that and the other. when they really don't, it's the refining industry that does, which is oil and gas.
Which is oil and gas?
Which is oil and gas.
Yeah.
But I'm just,
Sorry.
but also, the oil and gas industry is regulated by the EPA. And I agree with you on the new law in Wyoming, they have these data processors. I don't know that they have to, but can, maybe it's a have to, shall put up their own power supply.
Right now it's made.
Right now it's net, okay. But the cooling, water can be used, it's electricity, air conditioned air.
It's not for air conditioning, it's to cool the microchips.
Yes, I know. We use the same thing in our big motors. Is to go ahead and use air conditioning to cool it because you can't cool it with water. You cool the air much faster, you cool the chips much faster with air. So I'm just saying, I believe most of the new plants are being cooled by air, which is a massive amount of air conditioning like this.
These data centers, you mean?
The new ones, not the old ones necessarily.
We have old data centers in this country?
We've got 10-year-old data centers versus what's being built in China today.
Okay, any further discussion? Yes, Marty?
I just want to bring up, I didn't go to the tour, because I don't want a tour of data center. I don't see the excitement in it, but that's why I didn't go. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see that stuff. But part of the process was telling us how the water is self-contained now, and I'll give the figures a little, so I'm kind of paraphrasing, but just so you know, the new data center down there, which in my opinion is a huge, it's quite a landmark out there in Newcastle, but that's just an opinion. In order to start it, and I'll be close, but in order to start it, it will take the water of 133 houses for 3 years, and then to maintain it, it will only use the water for 3 houses for whatever amount of years. So they're always working on that technology, just a heads up.
Madam Chair,
I'm not speaking for them, I'm just telling you what some of the new technology is.
I know what the company said in the news article, I think that's what you're referring to.
Correct.
I don't trust the company necessarily. Because throughout the rest of the country, it's water and electricity they use huge amounts of there. But I get you, I saw that.
China Wyoming will be the data center.
Yeah. What's up?
Okay, all in favor of this resolution? Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any other resolutions to come forward from the floor? I do have that. Thank you. Where did I put it? Can you see it? Am I going blind? I do not know where my resolution went. So I would like to move forward a resolution entitled Resolution to Restore Party Autonomy and Challenge the Constitutionality of Title 22. This is all the things that I've been talking about when I brought forward the bylaws revisions, but I would like to bring forward this resolution for us to challenge Title 22. It's what you all have suggested during the course of this caucus and convention, is that if you don't like the law, then we should challenge it, and that's what I'm proposing that we do with this resolution. Yes, Walter?
Since you don't have it here, would you mind, for the people only able to watch,
Yes.
reading this whole resolution?
Most certainly. The first whereas, the United States Supreme Court has repeatedly affirmed in cases such as EU versus San Francisco County Democratic Central Committee that political parties are private, voluntary associations protected by the First and 14th Amendments. And whereas the Supreme Court has ruled that the state cannot interfere with the internal governance, leadership selection, or the identity of a political party without a compelling state interest, and whereas Title 22 of the Wyoming statutes currently imposes a rigid, state-mandated structure on political parties, dictating everything from the timing of meetings to the composition of county and state central committees, and whereas these state-imposed mandates infringe upon the freedom of association of Wyoming Republicans, effectively turning a private party into a subdivision of the state government, and whereas the current statutory framework prevents the Wyoming Republican Party from fully implementing its own bylaws and choosing the most effective methods for selecting candidates and leaders. Therefore, be it resolved that the Weston County Republican Party declares that the intrusive elements of Title 22 are an unconstitutional overreach into the private affairs of the party, and be it further resolved that we call upon the Wyoming Republican State Central Committee to initiate or join legal challenges to strike down these portions of Title 22 that infringe upon the First Amendment rights of the party, and be it further resolved that we urge the Wyoming State Legislature to repeal the restrictive, quote, management sections of Title 22, returning the power of self-governance to the members and delegates of the political parties where it rightfully belongs. And that is my resolution. Do I have a second? Any discussion? Yes, Mike?
I would like you to strike the term compelling reason in there, because that's a door you can drive a battleship through. We talk about we need to have a compelling reason, and I don't think you have any reason at all for the state to interfere.
Where do you have it?
There's a second whereas.
Second whereas. Compelling interest, so.
I think that's part of, I think that's part of what the Supreme Court said, is trying to figure out what the state, how the state law got to go where it goes, because they made the argument, this is a compelling interest.
And that's a slippery slope that they're taking full advantage.
They took advantage of that, and so I think that's kind of where this is, and then perhaps the definition needs to be what a compelling.
You still have a door open to use the term at all, because compelling is a gray area.
The problem is that that's part of it doesn't make sense in this essence of quote for what they do.
Okay.
So it's for the state not interfere in their internal governance, legislature, like an identity, and legal requirement to have compelling state interest. So it's just quoting what the Supreme Court ruled. I think that's why I'm putting it.
I mean, we can strike that part, just stop the whereas at the end of party.
Yeah, my whole problem with this, and even with this in here, I understand you're quoting the Supreme Court, but that's still a door open, that's still a slippery slope. I'm not sure I would respond to the Supreme Court's statement here, because you're basically, because you're quoting that, you're saying that this is part of the reason here, and that whole language of compelling right there is in itself an opening.
So, Madam Chair,
Mm-hmm.
so would it help if we put in that we put, the Republican Party rejects the notion of.
Yes, I like that language That's good language. That makes good sense. Because this right now, that whereas in there, as soon as you say the whereas, of course, that's a legal term. And you're including that as part of the argument. And so you're basically saying, I agree with the Supreme Court.
So would it be whereas the Republican Party therefore rejects, or should
Yes.
we, okay, so it's another whereas.
Yeah, either way works, but the whole kicker is you've got to refute that argument.
And I think if you, I was gonna verbalize it, but I don't want, I think if you put it in the body, you've recognized it, and then you're saying, and then you're rejecting it.
Correct. Because unfortunately, the way it's in here right now, that's part of your argument. We agree with the Supreme Court, is what this really says.
And you can fall back on it.
Right, and I'm saying we don't agree with the Supreme Court.
Exactly, that's what I was. You reject it. Fair enough.
Okay, so do you want to take that, do you want to make a motion to take
I
that
make a motion
part?
that we change the verbiage to effect
Okay,
objecting to compelling reason.
so we're gonna take this out.
Following.
This place is full of, you can tell the people that like to be with old people because they really take care of you good and are very kind.
Twice a day, every day, the activities people have an organized activity that's always interesting.
Everybody loves to play bingo. We play it 3 times a week here. We also have ceramics that you can paint. Really pleasant to live here. It's a good place to be.
Political party.
Yep.
We'll put, reject, therefore rejects.
I think what we do is we.
Let's just insert a new whereas.
Okay.
That whereas is seen.
And then put another whereas.
So, and the new whereas says,
Would be the one, the Weston County Republican Party rejects the terminology without a compelling state interest.
Rejects what?
okay. So we're putting in a new whereas stating the Weston County Republican Party rejects the terminology without a compelling state interest. Okay?
Question?
So we have a motion and a second to add another whereas stating the Weston County Republican Party rejects the terminology without a compelling state interest. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're back on the main motion as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving a resolution to restore party autonomy and challenge the constitutionality of Title 22? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Any further resolutions from the floor? Any further resolutions from the floor? Well, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is a report from the nominating committee. Do we have a report report from the nominating committee? If not, we'll just move on to election of delegates. And we'll take nominations from the floor. Just for the information of the body, the agenda for the county convention is in our bylaws, so you have to follow it. We don't usually do a nomination slate or anything here. We usually do it from the floor, so it's not really out of the ordinary for us to not have a report from the nominations committee on the slate. All right, so we will move on to election of delegates. The way our bylaws dictate election of delegates is by secret ballot. So I have our official Weston County secret ballots here. And we are to nominate 9 delegates and 9 alternates to the Wyoming State Convention, which will be held April 22nd through 25th in Douglas, Wyoming. The delegates all attend the 25th meeting, and the other dates are committee hearings. So like if you're on the bylaws committee or the resolutions committee, then you'll meet on those other days. But the full convention delegates will be required to attend on April 25th. So I think the best way to do this is for us to just start a list of anyone who would like to be a delegate or alternate to the state convention. Then once we get our list, we'll use our official secret ballots to determine the 9 that will go. Is that fair? Yes.
One comment. Our chair and the state committee man, committee women are automatic delegates.
Correct.
Are those part of the 9 delegates then?
Yes.
Correct. But unfortunately, your chair will be out of the country. So you are down to 2 automatics.
I would say we do the delegates first, and then after the delegates, do the alternates.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I request that you initiate your secret ballot.
I would love that.
I just want to make note, I will not be going to the convention. My daughter and family are coming from Maine, and I will not leave them.
I understand. It's my 30th anniversary. And my husband made the reservations. All right. Anyone else like to attend the convention? Sue?
I nominate Chad Hall. Yes.
Ken, do you accept?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone else like to attend? Anyone else like to? James?
Made Chad adjourn.
I did. That's because I was trying to hold the microphone. All right.
What about Susie?
Sue?
Susan Love.
Susan Love? Awesome. Anyone else? Dan?
I would like to nominate Dean and Julie right now.
Excellent. Dean and Jolie, do you accept? Excellent.
You need to take a breath.
Anyone else?
I have a question. With you being the chair, are you still an automatic even though you won't be able to be there? So like, will it have to be a first alternate with Big Dog?
That's a really good question, but I would pretend that I'm telling you that I wouldn't be there so that I mean, if that first delegate would be an automatic delegate, right? Or, yeah, first audit. Yeah.
I nominate Sue Slagle.
Thank you.
Never mind.
Bus stand and presents.
I nominate Stan
I was just
Jasinski.
gonna.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's it.
Anyone else like to attend the state convention?
We need one more delegate.
It will be fun.
That's 9, right?
So that's 9, count here.
No, that's 9 without me.
Oh, sure.
Anyone like to attend? Okay. Well, we have 9. Would you, huh?
Nobody can get 6.
I know, we would have no alternates. Can we have some, is anybody interested in being an alternate?
I can be an alternate.
Okay. Anyone else interested in being an alternate? All right.
How about Ben Roberts? Would you be an alternate?
Oh, thank you.
All right. So we have 9 delegates and 1 alternate. We have a motion to approve. Would you like to use the secret ballots? We're good?
Who made the motion?
Marty. We have a motion to approve the delegates and alternates to the state convention, and second. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the delegates and alternates to the state convention? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. I just have one housekeeping thing. On the back of your agenda is the number of precinct committee openings for next biennium. If you're interested in running for precinct committee person, you would have to fill out your paperwork at the clerk's office between May 14th and May 29th.
Will you say that louder next time for the people in the back, since these guys were so loud?
May 14th through May 29th, please go and register to be a committee man or committee woman for the next biennium.
And there's no filing fee.
There is no filing fee.
And you can have, that's the one place that you can have your name on the ballot. Correct.
I said right in that table.
And that is the same filing period if you're interested in running for office. So if anybody is interested in running for office, please reach out and we'll be happy to help you. But please register during that time.
Can you give that name?
It is May 14th through May 29th, and it's at the end of your agenda. And you'll probably get 12 emails from me before then.
Can I say that, Madam Chair? Remember that the courthouse closes at 4:30. A lot of people think they're gonna sweep in there at 5 minutes till 5 because it's the last day. You're out of luck. So courthouse closes at 4:30.
And you better be early at 4:30.
You better be early at 4:30 because you may have a door closed before everybody gets home. It's like dance.
You're trying to come in early.
All right, anything further to come for the convention?
I think Susan's got something.
Susan?
I was just pretty simple, but I do have a letter from, Brenda Bean. Oh.
Is she married? Oh, she's got it.
So I'll just read this quickly as proxy for Brenda Bean, convention, or candidate for governor. Hello, folks. I am Ren Meehan, and I am running to be your next governor. I am a Wyoming native, a graduate of the University of Wyoming Engineering College. That was one word. United States Naval War College, retired United States Marine Corps Colonel, aviator, and combat veteran. I've been married for over 29 years and raised 3 wonderful daughters. I am a principled conservative Republican, or one who has an unwavering belief in self-governance, individual sovereignty, American exceptionalism, and absolute truth as defined by God. I fully comprehend the value of our freedom as I have witnessed the end state and horrors of tyranny in distant lands. Excuse me. And I am heartbroken by how quickly Americans are willing to give up their liberty for temporary securities and false narratives, promulgated by a government that squanders their trust and lusts after control. For too long now, our great state has been sold out to the highest bidders by politicians who lack the moral courage to defend our constitutional liberties and protect our state from corporate takeover. Taxpayer abuse is rampant. Our agriculture is being swallowed up by globalist interest. Government spending is out of control, and our public schools are well below where they should be. I am running to challenge that paradigm by putting the people first and restore principled conservative leadership, discipline, and accountability to Cheyenne. But I can't do it alone. I need the help of every warrior patriot out there to return Wyoming to the people, to return elections to the voters, taxes to the taxpayers, education to the parents, agriculture to the growers, and energy to Wyoming. Through landmark tax cuts, deregulation, and maximized mineral extraction, the people of our great state will be offered renewed hope and opportunities in a brighter Wyoming. Our freedom is priceless, and I will protect and defend your constitutional liberties with the utmost tenacity. Never forget who we are. We are Americans. We are Wyoming, and together we will make Wyoming #1.
They're here.
One last announcement before we adjourn. We are coming upon the time where the party gets to submit a list of names to the clerk on who wants to be an election judge. So if anybody is interested in being an election judge or a poll watcher in the next election, please let me know as soon as possible so I can include your name on that list. And thank you very much for your attention today. Thank you all for your input, and
Motion to
go
adjourn.
Wyoming.
Thank you, Karen.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Aye.